All right, so I woke up the other day and looked at the computer, and the computer said that I had a bunch of comments under one of my Instagram posts. That Instagram post being my locations that prohibit firearms. So I go into the comment section. I'm looking, okay, cool. What are people talking about? I just got a couple people talking, and lo and behold, it's my buddy, my partner in crime, Divinity Firearms Training, and an FPS Kyle. And I'm looking, I'm reading, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, this is why people like me exist, and why there's so much bad information out there floating around, and why people like me exist in order to fix this bad information. Alright, so the post in question is locations that prohibit firearms. Let's talk about it. So, just to go ahead and get this out the way, this disclaimer, this is a post that's actually taken from our course. So, when we're teaching the CCW course, we put up a PowerPoint just to give people the synopsis of it, the written version of it. Then we give the context while we're in the class and explain to everybody the breakdown, like, hey, these are locations, these are why the locations are there, so on and so forth. So right now, the post doesn't have any context behind it. We give the context inside the class, but we know we do the best we can to simplify, so we break down everything and what it is, so on and so forth. However, we do understand that 17 places, 22 really, 17 being the 5 special purpose areas, that's a lot of places to remember. So what we did was we summarized it up to being locations that are summarized, which is no government facilities, no healthcare facilities, no childcare facilities, no academic facilities, no power plants, and no places with posted signage stating gun-free zone, and some miscellaneous locations such as that dredge boat. However, there's this guy in my comment section. I'm gonna call him FPS Kyle because anyone tactical in their name is cracks me up. And this guy comes into my comment section saying number 6 on summary is not correct. Okay, how is it not correct? Well, he says because gun-free locations that have signage stating gun-free zone are not enforceable by law. You wanna know what? You get one clap because you're actually correct. Now, like I said, inside the course is where we give the context behind this stuff. But however, my job as a handgun instructor is very simple. It's to tell people the thing it is that they need to know in order to both stay alive and stay out of jail. That's my job. And over 300 people have entrusted me with bestowing that knowledge upon them in order to keep them alive and out of jail. Because I have had people take my class who told me, hey, I was in this situation, what do I do in order to real life situations? And they're trusting me to tell them what it is they need to know about to stay alive and stay out of jail. Now, I'm going to tell people what's most likely to keep them out of jail, or rather just keep them out of trouble in general. And so, the answer is no, you are correct. It is not enforceable on Maryland law because it's not written in Maryland law that you cannot carry inside of a gun-free zone. If you get caught carrying inside a location, such as a private business or so on and so forth, that has a signage stating gun-free zone, is it enforceable by the law? The answer is no, because it's not in the law. How do we know? It's all right there. It's all right there. It's not rocket science. This stuff is all available on Maryland State Police's website. But then again, a lot of people don't think about the consequences of this stuff. And that's what makes you an FPS Kyle. Because again, my job is to tell people things most likely to keep them out of trouble and alive. But we're going to focus on the out of trouble part. Here's the problem. We live in Maryland. Maryland is exclusively a state that hates gun owners. Now, they need gun owners because they want federal funding and they don't want to violate the Second Amendment. So they say, hey, look, we're going to allow you to have guns. We're just going to make it so difficult and hard that either it discourages you entirely, or we're just going to create a lot of bear traps or to set you up for fair so that we can make an example out of you. Now, my job is to tell people how to avoid that. And so the way they avoid that is by just simply staying out of trouble. Now, back to this. Yes, if you go inside of a business and you have a firearm and they find out you got a firearm, can they prosecute you by law? The answer is no. But here's the problem though. Maryland is a state that hates gun owners. So they're looking for every opportunity they can to make an example out of you, even if they can't force it by law. They're still going to try. On top of that, the police don't know this stuff. Here's how this would go. If you walk into a location where you're carrying a firearm and that location has a signage saying gun-free zone, here's how that would go. They may see you printing. They may see you have a firearm on you. Okay. You think they're going to tell you to leave their facility? No, they're not going to do that. Why? They're scared. So what are they going to do? They're going to call the cops. Now here's the problem. The cops don't know this stuff. So the cops are going to show up. The cops are, how actually know, let's back up. What do you think they're going to say on the 911 call? Hey, there's a guy inside of our establishment with a gun. The moment you say gun or shots fired in a 911 call, all hell breaks loose. All hell breaks loose. Cops are going to come by. There's going to be at least 6, 7, 8 of them. All they heard was gun. So they're going to the establishment. First person they're going to come to after the people point them out is to you. You're then going to have to explain exactly what it is you're saying up here in this Facebook comment. And the cops are going to say, yeah, well, you're not allowed here with a gun. And then may just start reading your Miranda rights. And now you guys spend a night or two in jail. And then what's going to be your argument? Oh, no, it's not enforceable by law, but here's the problem. The cops don't know this. This stuff is figured out in court. But last I checked, the only people who say, oh, I'm going to have my day in court are FPS Kyles, like yourself, and criminals. My job is very simple. To tell people what thing it is that they need to know in order to stay alive and out of jail. I said that before already. I'm going to say it again just to emphasize on it. People don't have time to deal with this stuff. People got to go to work tomorrow. And my job to tell them, hey, this was most likely to keep you out of jail. So, if it has a signage on the building that says gun-free zone, and you just want to avoid any and all problems that may occur, just don't go in there with your firearm. This is a capitalistic market. Whatever it is you're trying to go in there to do or to get, somebody somewhere else has that thing you're looking for, and they may be two-way friendly. But even still, yes, we have to conceal carry here in the state of Maryland. That is law, so you are correct about that. We do have to conceal carry by law. But the chances you may print and then run into some problems, nobody wants that. And you may think that, oh, it's just going to go as simple as just going to ask you to politely leave, and then you leave, and then that's the end of the story. Can you guarantee that? You can't guarantee that. I can't guarantee that. But you know what I can guarantee to avoid that outright? Just don't go in there with your firearm on your person. Easy as that. Now, here's the problem, though. You are just some random guy on the internet. You don't have credentials that can be revoked. Okay? I'm a certified handgun instructor, both the USCCA and the NRA. And I'm certified in the state of Maryland to issue out the Maryland CCW and HQL. And also I'm DC certified. So I have credentials. And I can have my credentials revoked and even possibly face jail time based on what I say or lack thereof. So while you're just some random guys on the internet telling people the equivalent of, hey, it's totally okay if you don't get caught. Yeah, you can say that. I can't say that. I'm not going to say that because I have credentials. I'm certified to teach this stuff. I don't know who you are, but whoever you are, and wherever you are in your field, great, good for you. But guess what? I got credentials to lose. And there's people who are entrusting me with bestowing knowledge upon them to keep them alive and keep them out of jail while they conceal carry their firearm here in the state of Maryland. So, you're just a random guy on the internet. When they carry that firearm inside that gun-free zone and they possibly get locked up and have to stand in front of a judge, they can't quote you. They can't say, oh, hey, Moore Tactical 22 said I could. They're going to be like, who the hell is that? But they can say, hey, who's Aaron? Oh, he's an NRA certified instructor at so-and-so at Tier 1 Academy. Oh, okay, cool. Let's go have a talk with him. So to avoid all that, just do not carry in the places with posted signs saying gun-free zone. Lastly, like we said, it's not enforceable by law because it's not in the law. But here's the problem, though. I also have a lot of people who attend my class that are also doing their DC CCW. And you want to know what is in DC CCW law? That you cannot carry inside of a location that has posted signage saying gun-free zone. So because I have people here in the DMV who frequent DC and Maryland, it's just easier to tell them, hey, even though this is law in DC, but this law does not apply to Maryland, it's just easier to just not carrying inside of a business that has a sign saying gun-free zone. You may not go to jail in Maryland, but you will in DC. But that's a lot to think of. That's all I think of. So let's keep life simple. Do the thing that's most likely to keep us out of trouble. Because Maryland has all these things in place, all these bear traps, and just cannot wait to make an example out of somebody. I don't want to be none of my people. Now, if you want to go and have your day with these people and sit here and try to challenge and say, no, it's not part of the law. No, the law, the Constitution, this, that, the third. You can go ahead and do that, boss man. But I'm not going to tell nobody who sits in one of my chairs inside my class to carry inside a location that has posted signs saying gun-free zone, such as a private business or restaurant, or mall, so on and so forth, just because it's not enforceable by law because it's not written into the law. So you can do that. I'm not doing that. Easy as that. Now, however, this also goes to show me that you really don't know what you're talking about. Because here you also said, where is it? You cannot enter into someone's dwelling without their permission. See, even you aren't up to date with the laws. Because that actually was removed out of Senate Bill 1. A judge actually put an injunction in place on that. So, what are you talking about? You don't know anything. Stay in your lane, stay in the tactical world, and stay out of my CCW class. And stay off my PowerPoints. Because you don't know anything. You're going to tell somebody something that's going to either get them locked up, or worst case scenario, get them killed. And don't worry, you don't have credentials, so if somebody listens to what you say, it's just hearsay. But I have credentials that I can lose and possibly face jail time for. See, let me see. Where is it? Okay, yeah. Now, they have to give you express permission to enter the home with the firearm, either with the sign or by words. The answer is no. I can go inside somebody's house with my firearm on my hip because a judge actually put an injunction in place to remove that. Now, however, that is true in DC. Oh, but how would I know that? I'm only a DC CCW certified handgun instructor. You're not. So, it's cool. It's cool, Tactical Kyle, or FPS Kyle, whichever one, man. You're at the end of the day, you're a Kyle. Stay in your lane. I'm gonna stay in my lane. Stay off my post. You can go ahead and tell people whatever it is you want to, but I'm gonna tell people a thing that most likely keep them out of jail and alive. Meanwhile, the equivalent of what you're saying is, oh, it's totally fine as long as you don't get caught. That doesn't work here in the state of Maryland, especially if you're a firearm owner, because they're waiting for an example to make an example out of you. But yeah, that's it. But what would I know? I'm only a handgun instructor. So, simply put, we here at Tier 1 Academy, back to the viewer, we here at Tier 1 Academy do not recommend you carrying inside of a, well, actually, usually people have to sit inside my CCW class in order to get this information. But while we're here, I'm going to be a good guy. The answer is no. To finalize this, Maryland does not have written into the law that you cannot carry inside of locations with posted signage stating gun-free zone. However, Maryland is notoriously a state that does not like gun owners and wants to make an example out of you. So, it's very simple. Would you get in trouble for carrying inside that gun-free zone? The answer is no, at least not legally. But however, whatever plans it is you have that day, cancel them. Because it's not going to go the way you want to. Because while you may, I'm not going to sit here and say, it's okay to carry there, just don't get caught. No. If you get caught, there's going to be problems. So guess what? Murphy's Law on the play. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. If you want to stay on the right side of the law, you don't want to stay out of trouble, then guess what? Don't put yourself in predicaments that can possibly get you in trouble. And this is one of them. Carrying inside a location that has a posted sign saying gun-free zone. If you may not get in trouble, you won't get in trouble legally speaking. But trust and believe they're gonna try. And they're gonna try. We don't have time or money for that. So please do not put yourself in a bad predicament trying to be a constitutional, okay? Or rather worse, trying to be a FPS Kyle. So, hope this clears things up. Aaron with Tier 1 Academy, thanks for watching.